everyone, and welcome to West End Best Friend. And today we've got a brilliant guest who is about to star in a one-man show at the studio at the new Wimbledon Theatre, The Night That Larry Kramer Kissed Me. We are joined by John Bell. Hello and welcome to West End Best Friend.
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Callum. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
It's great to have you here. And first of all, how are you doing at the moment?
I'm doing okay. I was one of those casualties of COVID Christmas, you know, the week before in London, everybody caught it. So I did isolate for Christmas, but I made up for it for New Year. So I'm feeling good now, ready to turn on this new opportunity, this new journey, this adventure in a new year. It's great.
We're recovered and ready to start work on The Night That Larry Kramer Kissed Me. So what can you tell us about this show before we start to talk about it?
Well, The Night Larry Kramer Kissed Me is actually still the longest running off-Broadway one-man show ever. Mm-hmm. So it really does sit there as a part of history, right?
Yeah.
It originally came on New York in 1995, I want to say, and has been revitalized, changed, retold from its original one-man show that it was.
Yeah.
This time, we're bringing it to London for the first time, and it is back to its roots as a one-man show, but with an updated set and soundtrack. It's the story of one young man's sort of journey of self-discovery. It starts with him at about 6 years old, and then all the way up to his late 20s when he finds his calling in life. And yeah, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you pause to think. It's great.
That's great. It sounds wonderful. And as you say, it's a one-man show. So how is that in rehearsal? Because obviously it must just be you and the creative team. So is that kind of daunting, or does that make it even better for you as a performer?
It's quite funny because when I got offered it, I didn't think it was a one-man show.
Right.
So, because they sent me through this video of a pre-recording of it, from like the early 2000s or late 2000s or whatever. And in it, it's like 8 actors and they all share different parts. So I was like, oh, okay, there's gonna be other actors, like I'll have a part in it. And then all of a sudden they were like, no, but it's a one-man show. And I read the script, I was like, there's no like other characters here, what's going on? And immediately my action was like, whoa, this is scary, because this is my stage debut, and throwing in the deep end, one-man show, there's nothing to hide about, you know, it's up to you. But when I spoke to Stephen Dexter, director, and after reading the script, I really connected with the story. I was like, oh no, this is a challenge, but it's definitely something I can do. I've been a screen actor my whole life. I've always kind of had to guess what the audience are going to take from it, and then when it goes out, not necessarily is what you think they were going to take from it. In theatre, it's so immediate, and it's all up to you here in this moment, so it's exciting. I do really like this way of working, of experimenting and trying out new things, seeing what works. Some of it sinks like a lead balloon, and other things you're like, that you didn't think would work, we'd be like, oh my gosh, this is totally what this needs right now. So yeah, it's great. It's really fun.
I assume it's a really nice collaborative experience as well in the room, especially when it's just you. You're able to suggest these ideas, and then other people suggest their ideas. Is that true?
Exactly that. That was the first thing, I think, because when I saw one-man show, a bit of a daunting, and then I met Stephen Dexter, and that was one of the first things he said. He was like, I work in a very collaborative way. I want this to be an exchange of ideas. I'm not the kind of director to be like, this is how we do it. Fantastic. You do this, you do that. And I was like, okay, this is great. You know, it's not usually the way I've worked, you know. This
show, as you said, it explores the performer they are just the performer, aren't they?
Yes. We call him David because it was David Drake that originally performed it. But he is the performer. He is the vessel of the story. Yeah. The play does bounce around a bit there. It's not completely chronological. So we have this opportunity to like rapidly progress a character through the stages, like bullet points of who they are, vignette, go back, explore in more detail this period, explore in more detail that period, and then finally it all kind of comes together at the end, and you're like, oh, that's how he's become the person we saw right at the start of the play.
And some of those vignettes are experiences of the performer seeing shows that made an impact on them at whatever age they were. And I'm wondering, do you personally have any experiences of cinema, TV, stage that made you want to pursue performing, or that made an impact on you specifically?
The first ever job that I ever did was stage, and I was like 6 years old or something like that, 5 or maybe 7, right? And it was an Inspector Calls.
Oh, right.
And there was so there was like that in that production. There was like 3 sort of street kids that start the play. And I remember at that age, there was a part of the play that I would like have to like sit at the front of the stage completely still for 40, 50 minutes watching the show every night. And I think that really ingrained into me like, wow, this is magical, you know? So I would literally sit there and watch these actors perform the whole play. So I think that just like, that kind of worked its way into my head that this is something cool. There's actually a really cool photo that my dad has up at home of me sat there silhouetted with the actor there behind on the production. Just you can just kind of like see my little head tilting up from the back, but you know, in my face, I'm like, you know, I think that really influenced me.
It's great to see, because everyone has like a different experience. I suppose everyone in this kind of industry has that one show that they saw that stayed in their head. And it's wonderful that this show kind of explores that as well, and how it can affect who you become. And it really does, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. But this time period is one of such devastating, you know, of strife, of, you know, death everywhere. And this idea that this killer is out there and it's unseen and don't understand it. So the musical theatre world of like, you know, show lights, Broadway, wigs, all of that, you know, sort of becomes this sort of like grating nonsense. And it's actually when the character goes and sees a play for the first time that's when he finally sort of wakes up to who he is, what he wants, what he's going to do to make the world a better place.
And it's a wonderful, exciting time to be on the West End and performing as well, because as we go on, it keeps getting more and more diverse, especially since theatre has come back, and we've had the whole reckoning in 2020 of the diversity that's needed in the theatre industry. Now things are becoming so much more diverse, and it's a wonderful time to be part of making theatre, especially with a show like yours that's opening at the Wimbledon studio. It's just a wonderful, exciting time, isn't it? Do you feel like you're part of something with this?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the array of stories, like the more difference of opinions, the more different ideas, the more different experiences, the better, you know? And
you're going to be performing from the 3rd of February till Saturday, the 26th of February at the new Wimbledon Theatre studio. Now, this is an intimate space.
Well done. That was perfect.
It's not like I'm reading it from my... I'm sure everyone is really, really looking forward to this. And if you're not, then I'm sure you've sold some tickets now. So you can book them at the West End Best Friend website, the ticket section in the website. There'll be a link in the description, in the comments, wherever you can find a link, there'll be one. And make sure you book your tickets for The Night That Larry Kramer Kissed Me, featuring John Bell. Thank you so much for talking to us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Have a good day. All right. Mwah.